Only a few more cards left as we go into the multicolored. Cloud Blazer, 3 white, blue, 2/2 flyer. ETB, gain 2 life, draw 2 cards.
This one doesn't really evoke a lot of emotion for me.
Yeah, not quite Muldrifter. Still probably very, very good and limited, with the caveat of you having to be blue and white.
Well, luckily both of those colors flicker like the damses.
That they do, and the gain 2 life, letting you like stay afloat while you use all your do-nothings to draw more cards and gain more life. Yeah, this thing is going to be very, very strong and limited, with the caveat, of course, being the multicolored and not at all constructible, because LOL.
No pain, lots of gain.
Yeah. Contraband, Kingpin. You be 1/4 lifelink. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1.
I'll take it.
Sure. This thing I actually knew about from the Game podcast, because Andrew Brown is like Merklurker fan #1, and he's like, he's back! Merklurker's back!
Dude, it's weird that you haven't seen the set yet. I keep forgetting you haven't seen the set.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is, fucking blue-black control or mid-range needs a blocker against the red deck that is almost certainly going to exist. This is a good one.
4 toughness is definitely, I've said it before, I'll say it again, but there's one other feature to this is that blue-black seems like a terrible combination at first glance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Sorry, I cut you off. What'd you say?
I was saying all the blue creatures that would help black in certain ways aren't aggressive.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the blue-black... I mean, the blue-black deck is going to be the more controlling black deck, but it's going to be interesting to see how those cards intermingle.
It's going to look like some of the weirder Dimir decks where they're good, but like you have to kind of do some fucking research to figure out what decks are viable.
Yeah, yeah. That deck is going to kill with the 1/2 for 1 that mills.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Depala Pilot Exemplar. I salute you. 1 RW 3/3. Oh, this is the Dwarf Lord. Other dwarves you control get +1/+1. Each vehicle you control gets +1/+1 as long as it's a creature. And when it becomes tapped, you may pay X. If you do, reveal the top X cards of your library, put all dwarf and vehicle cards from among them onto your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So they really wanted to make a dwarf goblin ringleader, but they've been stung by that one in the past, so they went with an attack trigger that costs mana instead of an ETB trigger that's free. And then they just put it straight on the Lord instead of splitting that into 2 or more cards.
You know, I have a feeling this card's gonna be really good. Like I have a feeling like
it's hard for it to be bad at the price point, right?
Even in constructed, like it doesn't not do anything. Like it does something pretty relevant in some capacity.
Yeah. Yeah, the price point is like almost good enough on its own. So if it ever does anything, then it's probably pretty good. Yeah,
like if it pumps a creature and it can attack where it couldn't before.
If it weren't legendary, it would be so much better.
I wonder though.
Legendary lords that would stack but don't because they're legendary tilt the shit out of me.
I like that it's a rare, but I also don't like that it's a rare.
I don't mind that it's rare. I hate that it's legendary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's just weird.
Yeah. Dovin Bond. 2 white, blue, 3 loyalty. +1 until your next turn, up to 1 target creature gets +3 or -3 -0, and its activated abilities can't be activated.
Ain't going nowhere.
-1, you gain 2 life and draw a card. -7, you get an emblem with your opponents can't untap more than 2 permanents during their untap step.
Static warp. So the ultimate's basically impossible to get ever. Maybe it's not.
Well, you wouldn't want it, right? Like,
yeah.
If you had the option between that or just -1 7 times, you would want that.
I suppose it just depends. Like, if you want to like use your resources to get it to 7, and then like try to win the Winter Orb way. But I've played against Winter Orb before, and honestly, it's just not as oppressive as it used to be.
Yeah.
And they don't have to be attacking you necessarily if they're not killing your Dovin, and they can just win another way.
Yeah, I agree.
Additionally, I'm not totally sold on the Kiora draw ability, where it's like draw a card and then like an additional small bonus. Like it kind of occurs to me like it's just going to be really bad.
Well, it was really, really good on Jacebi, and so they try and put it on a couple other cards, but it's like the reason it was good on Jace B is because Jace B was a 3-mana planeswalker that came into play with 5 loyalty if you wanted it to. Like, that's an outrageous rate. This is a 4-mana planeswalker, which is infinitely more than 3, and only starts with 4 loyalty if you don't draw the card first.
Why doesn't it have 4 loyalty?
It's a solid question. The fact that you play this and minus it, and then Chandra's plus can just kill it outright is embarrassing.
Embarrassing is a great word to describe it.
Yeah. And even the plus...
That, like, you can't choose the -3 on their turn, so, like, haste creatures are always going to fuck it up.
Yep, that's exactly what I was going to say. It doesn't match up against Nisa either, because the plus doesn't protect itself against the haste.
Maybe it's supposed to be a shitty planeswalker. Like, maybe that's the story.
Well, I mean, blue and white have had such busted planeswalkers for so long that it's time that they had the finish, the last place finisher, but...
Narset was a near miss. That one was almost really good.
Yeah.
But they've been the blue-green of planeswalkers the last few releases.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and they had Venser a long time ago, so they've seen some rough patches. But this is like just dovin bad.
Well, I mean the blue and white, like all the Elspeths and Gideons and Jaces and Tameo and Tezzeret, like they're just all busted. And so, and then the red ones we already talked about how they're just all embarrassing. So it's about time they got a busted one and the blue-white one sucks, you know?
Yeah, and this guy he just does not help himself at all.
No, he does not. Which is why he needed to call upon the Gatewatch to save his little party. But yeah, this is going to be like maybe a one of in a Super Friends type deck. But that's about it. Obviously, it's still a Planeswalker and limited, so game.
Imperial Voyager, huh?
1 GU, 2/3 flying trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get that many energy counters. The that many makes it a lot better. If there was just one energy counter, I'd be off it. This is
ability gets my ears perked up.
Yeah. This is like reverse Trigon Predator, like same stat line and everything, but instead of killing their things, you're building up your own things. I'm into it. Good role filler. Blue-green is not usually a limited combination you want to be in, but you never know.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that this card is just not going to play well with the strategies that blue and green are trying to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of defensive. I wish it was combat damage to anything.
Yeah.
Then like, blocking with it would make a lot more sense. Because I feel like blocking a flyer is, like, a really important purpose of this card. It's not you're getting a card at hitting them, you know? Maybe if he'll scry 2 and get some energy counters or whatever.
Yeah.
Just energy counters
it takes, like, 4 energy to get to a card, so...
Tapping this to get energy and do 2 damage is just not really all that... It's not exciting.
Somebody in the chat took the time out to point out that Trigon Predator doesn't have trample because the 2/3 flying aspect...
You know, it is bizarrely different with that in mind.
Have you ever had your Trigon Predator chump blocked?
Can't say I have.
No, me neither. Alright, Engineered Might. 3GW. Sorcery. Choose one. Target creature gets +5/+5 and gains trample until end of turn, or creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Are you going tall or wide?
Bad. Deceptively good, but I think it's bad. Like it tries to be good, but I think it's bad. The vigilance is the only part that like might save it because I remember the hold the gates or whatever that card used to be, like where it was bad, but then people realized how good it was. But I don't think that this format.
Oh yeah, because you could play both sides. Well, I think that the wide here, I think vigilance is actually like dumb on the.
Not vigilance on everybody. Like vigilance inherent on a creature like is valuable because of the way that it goes. But like vigilance once, like it was in Gatewatch, it's just different. Like Gatewatch, you kind of needed that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that there's not going to be a lot of like attacking past each other. There's not nearly as many like 2/4s as there were in that set, but I don't know. I think that both modes of this are underwhelming enough that the option to do either is not very impressive.
One or both maybe would be good.
Which is another weird thing that they put a bunch of choose ones and choose one or boths in the same sets. Hazardous Conditions. 2BG sorcery. Creatures with no counters on them get -2/-2 until end of turn.
There's our plus Muslim counter guy.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that are good with this. The weird thing is that like The things with plus and plus one counters on them are often big enough that neg 2 wouldn't kill them anyway, so that part doesn't really make any sense. But you get that first attack in, which you don't with other infests. But
I think a lot of your fabricate cards actually will end up having 2 toughness. Like they're all like 2 1s and 1 1s. So like you fabricating, you not fabricating or whatever, like, or rather you fabricating to get 2 toughness, which is like there's a few that are like 2 1s fabricate 1.
Sure.
There's some.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them that are. Oops. There's a lot of them that are like way bigger though.
Also, all the energy guys that get plus and counters have one. A lot of them have 1 toughness.
That's true. Well, only one of them.
That's right.
And it's red.
Never mind.
This thing is also weird because, like, if you're using it to its full potential. Oh, what I was gonna say is you get that 3 mana infests aren't even that good anymore. So a 4 mana infest that is also 2 colors, like, you're really reaching at that point.
I feel like this could seriously just be like 1 black and 1 green almost. Like I feel like
BG.
Push the envelope for once.
Yeah. And then
Make
the last.
an instant, please.
Yeah, an instant would be sweet. The last thing about it is that it's very weird that, like, how badly this signals itself. Where, like, you just put counters on, like, your first 2 fabricate things when servos are probably better as you're, like, developing early.
You know, if they were really, like...
They're just paying attention at all. They know that you have exactly this card in your black-green deck.
It's definitely, you signal it, and plus, like, it's just a card that's just, again, once again, 2 on the nose.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the very few cards in the set that I'm like, you know what, on the nose didn't work here. On the nose works a lot of other places, but here you just dropped the ball. It looks like it's from, like, a Kamigawa set. Like, it's just a weird, like, I don't get what it's trying to convey in this world at all, and that's a problem if you're trying to do a card like this. You need to connect it back, and I don't get it at all. Additionally, I think that it could have been instant easily, and it should have been -2, -3 because of the nature of 2/3 in the set.
-2, -3 is a weird stat line, though.
But it would have been cool.
It would have been cool.
Maybe they wouldn't do it ever, but...
I mean, they wouldn't want to. Unless exactly Mark Rosewater decided he wanted to, then everybody would want to.
I don't want to talk to him.
Burn! Campbell, Console of Allocation. 1 dub B 2/3. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life.
Check, please.
Yeah. Not really much to say about this thing.
It just fucks you up.
It gives the white-black Hate Bears deck in Modern something sweet for Storm.
I mean, what a card this is, right? I mean, like, if you can play it and the first spell they play does not kill it because of, like, something you do to protect it, like, they're in deep shit.
Yeah, they're just, like, they're behind a Soul Feast at least. And you still have the body.
Really tough to like get away from this card profitably. Like, and usually cards like that don't cost 3 mana. They cost like 2 black and 2 blue, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, this thing is
probably one of the, this guy made a good point. Like, it's probably one of the best like core Firewalker type cards in the set.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Is this card is really good if they are very aggressive or very not aggressive, and you're slightly aggressive.
Yeah.
It's not good in, like, mid-range mirrors, but it's good in those spots.
If this card's good, the white-black duel is going to be the best duel.
Yeah, that might be possible. The white-black one is inherently going to be very good.
Yep.
Rashmi Eternity's Crafter, 2GU 2/3. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card with converted mana cost less than that oh my god, hold on. Oh, I need a drink of water. This thing is...
Yeah, drink it up.
Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, alright, reveal the top card of your library. With you so far. If it's a non-land card with converted mana cost less than that spell's, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't cast the revealed card, put it into your hand.
So it is technically different than Cascade, unlike the landfall ones from above. But this ability feels really like...
Yeah, this thing's actually not Cascade, but it's damn close, whereas the other ones were literal.
Yeah, but funny enough, I'm in for it because there's so much of that.
Yeah.
it's just too much. Like this card, the fact that you get to put it in your hand and like there's no real downside is kind of odd. And like it reminds me of the Fathom Seer, and it's like it feels like really powerful if you can get it going, but this one actually feels like it could get there. Like if you play this and have like 2 Gitaxian probes, like you are in business. Or if you have like mutagenic growth or something, then you untap, you draw like 1,000,000 cards.
Well, it's only your first spell each turn, so it's like 1 for me, 1 for you, 1 for me, 1 for you. But
see, they buried the lead in the first sentence.
They led with the lead. How dare they?
They led with the lead. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this thing is value, but like 4 mana for a creature that whatever.
I thought that you could draw like 8 cards a turn. So at this point, that you draw like 1 card a turn. Maybe you can polymorph. I'm less excited.
Yeah.
It's Fathom Seer all over again. I thought Fathom Seer was good. Turns out it's not. Not Fathom Seer. Fathom Sage or something.
Yeah, I know what card. 2GU. Restoration Gearsmith. 2 dub B 3/3. ETB. Return target artifact or creature from your graveyard to your hand. So this is the real.
Quick jump in. I want to correct this guy. Someone in the chat that you draw the card no matter what. I think.
Yeah, you either cast it or draw it. If you don't cast it, you draw it.
Yeah, whether or not it costs less or not. So you get the card 8 ways on Sunday.
Yeah, you get the card no matter what. It's just whether it goes to your hand or on the stack.
All right,
so this is the real Gravedigger. I talked about when we got to the black one that they don't like being able to loop them. The caps for this one are that it is multicolor, which is hard to do, and uncommon, so it's hard to get multiple. Also, the fact that it can rumble with the best of them. Yeah, I mean, if you're white-black, this thing is really, really strong, but white-black is historically kind of an iffy limited archetype. As for constructed, I don't really see 4 mana 3/3 Gravedigger. I mean, they make so many busted regrowths and Gravediggers and Raised Deads and stuff that you're not going to have to stretch this far for a playable one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't gain 2 life or something. Like, they're already going way...
You get, like, Restoration Griff where it gains life equal to the CMC of the thing you get back.
Yeah, or at least, maybe make it cost 3 mana and make you lose life or something, you know? Like, give it some umph, because this is too boring for a white-black spell. They shouldn't make boring white-black spells. I've been saying this for decades.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sahili Rai is not boring. 1 UR, 3 mana planeswalker with 3 loyalty and a +1. So 3 mana, 4 loyalty to start. Scry 1, ping them.
Okay.
Neg 2, what's this card called that does this? So I don't have to read all this text?
I don't know. So her name and then some I don't know, agenda or something.
No. It's like Heat Shimmer or something like that.
Because she has a set card. Yeah, I see. It's Heat Shimmer for sure.
And you can get artifacts with it, which is relevant. And then the Neg 7, which is real hard to get to, is search your library for up to 3 artifact cards with different names, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. The ultimate is kind of like clownshoes.com, but I'm sure you can do something weird with it.
Yeah, I think, you could do... I mean, this is definitely a card where if you ultimate it, you're going to get a lot of value out of it, far more than you would have expected out of a 3-mana planeswalker. But it's not a Dami Red.
Well, I was gonna say Liliana Last Hope, right? The plus on Liliana Last Hope protects itself. This one doesn't. The -2 gets you a card's worth of value every single time, often more than that. This one doesn't. And the ultimate literally wins the game. This one, I mean, theoretically does, but...
What was Liliana's?
At the end of your turn, put X zombies into play, where X is the number of zombies you control +2.
Is it an emblem or just the one?
Emblem!
That's too much.
Yeah, it's insane.
Too much?
It's a 3-mana planeswalker that protects itself, and its ultimate is, like, wins the game. It's like suspend 3, win the game.
That seems really good, right?
Yeah, it's one of the best cards in Standard, Greg.
You know, when people saw it, they weren't very happy about it. I remember I saw it, and I was like, 3-mana planeswalkers are always playable.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I say every time.
It could deliver you toilet paper. It doesn't matter.
Right, and this one does deliver you toilet paper, but it is a 3-mana planeswalker, so I'm not going to shit talk it too hard. But you got to work hard to make this neg 2 worth something, and the +1 is not doing itself any favors.
Yeah, and let me get this straight. You can the Raised Dead's like very good.
Yeah.
Like, very good.
Yeah, it's like quietly one of the best planeswalkers of all time, and currently one of the best cards in Standard.
But people didn't believe right away. It took them 4 minutes. This next card is extremely good. It's just like terminate out the gates and then it's like no downside. That you kind of expect a downside, no downside.
1BR instant, destroy target creature. That's already like I'm on board. If you control an artifact, it deals 3 damage to that creature's controller, which is not only sick value, but also like this dome damage, and this is something I forgot to say about Saheeli Rise Plus, is like Planeswalker, like dome damage is so good in the land of Planeswalkers. It used to be that incidental damage to the dome was almost never relevant, and now it's almost never irrelevant.
Right, it's never irrelevant, absolutely. And it makes us reevaluate cards more than just like the Lava Spike versus Spellskite reevaluation. Like, you got to reevaluate everything.
Yeah.
Like, damage to players is just going to... It ought to challenge your conventions in ways that would be difficult for anybody to undo, like to unlearn.
Yep.
We have so many of those like weird ideas of what a act of treason means, but in a set with Planeswalkers, act of treason is like a Vindicate plus.
Yep. Ooh, imagine Lightning in the land of Planeswalkers.
You know, I've had enough nightmares in my life.
All right, I'm on board with that card. Veteran Motorist, R-Dub 3-1. ETB Scry 2. Why is a red-white dwarf scrying? Whenever it crews a vehicle, that vehicle gets ++1 until end of turn. Sure, aggressive red-white card. Apparently scries.
It's just a weird good card.
Yep, weird good card. Shut up, Greg. I mean, bless you, friend. Weird good card. Anything else to say about this one?
Now this next card is...
Well, this thing's like borderline constructible, so if you're constructing with red-white dwarves, then you can curve this thing into your lord.
Giving your vehicle ++1 matters a lot when it's like this 5/5 versus the 6/6, and you're up against another 5/5. You know, like,
yeah.
Like if there's only like a few good vehicles, then like the ++1 is it might be extremely relevant.
Sure.
However, it seems marginal, and the 1 toughness just turns me off a little bit.
People in the chat are saying it scries to find vehicles, which makes sense play-wise, but like if he's a veteran motorist, you would have to think he knows where his car is.
Yeah. If he doesn't have a car, you gotta wonder what kind of veteran he is.
Yeah, exactly. Voltaic...
Is he a has-been or never was?
Voltaic Brawler, RG32, already super pushed. ETB, get 2 energy. Whenever it attacks, you may pay G may pay an energy. If you do, it gets ++1 and gains trample until end of turn. So it's a 4/3 trample for 2.
Wait, yeah, no downside at all. Literal no downside.
Wow, they are not fucking around.
Yeah, they stopped messing around a long time ago.
So I guess I got my answer of like, is the red aggressive deck gonna be like red-white or red-green? Like this thing is pushing it heavily towards green.
This red-blue card is phenomenal.
All right, we'll get to that in a second. This thing is also just pushed for energy usage or consumption, because like 3 toughness on the attack with trample is like pretty good stat lines, and for the price, like it's pretty hard to trade up for that for much less than 4 mana, and by then you've already like used all of the energy that you want to use out of it.
Yep. And also you can just play it as a 3/2, and block with it, and you're up with the energy, and like that's hard to do with any other card in the set.
Yeah. Yeah, super good.
It's a real threat that gives you energy, which basically nothing else can say.
Yeah. Whirling Virtuoso. Oh, this is the one you were telling me about on day 1.
It's just a bomb.
1 UR 2/3, ETB 3 energy counters, pay 3 energy counters, create a 1/1 Thopter. Yeah, this thing is
just the best card ever made.
Straight up busted. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, give me my tokens now.
Yeah, great energy production rate and a good end game outlet for your energy as well.
You want to bounce it to your hand, replay it.
Yeah, super good with all the blinks and whatnot. Yep, just great.
It's got de facto fabricate. It's just like whatever.
Yeah, super on board. Super fabricate.
I actually think
best card number 7.
Play, and it's the best card I've ever seen that won't see play.
What card won't?
I think Voltaic Brawler won't see that much play, but it's the best card I've ever seen that won't see play.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of cards like this where they're just like, like Rada. Remember Rada Heir to Keld or whatever?
That card tried, and honestly, in that environment, it really was groundbreaking in its nature.
Yeah, it was super, super pushed and super strong, and it's just like it just didn't work. Just couldn't quite get over the hump.
Well, you print it in a set with all these dual lands, and then you print Bogardan Hellkite is the only relevant late game spell. You got to wonder, like, what's this aggressive strategy you're after?
Yeah, yeah.
Char, that's your big finish. That's like a fucking like common that's not played anymore.
Yeah, this thing is gonna be very context dependent, but it is very, very powerful in a vacuum.
The Virtuoso is like the best Eldrazi Sky Spawner ever.
Yes. Perhaps second only to Eldrazi Sky Spawner.
Yeah, the rebate really just fucks that card up.
Yeah,
But,
Sky Spawner's pushed as fuck. All right, and we're done.
That was fun. Took a long time, but I enjoyed that.
We did it. Yeah, almost 6 hours, and only like 30 minutes of that was technical problems.
Yeah, and I was actually planning to be done around midnight, so this is pretty good.
Well, that's why I wanted to start at like 7:30, and you made us start at 9.
It only took twice as long than I was expecting. My expectations are often wrong. I have to calibrate them.
I am exhausted and need to go to sleep. And Greg, you're not even home.
I don't know. I might just sleep here. Who knows?
I would not blame you. I will let you go and then address the chat. Thank you again for doing this. I'll talk to you in a couple days when I recover.
Yeah, man. Be well. Go to eat. Sleep well.
All right. Later, buddy.
Good chat. Been fun.